Thank you, Melissa. Migrant crossings have slowed down locally since the end of 42 earlier this month.
Adam Klepp joins us from the Wall with the latest activity and why lawmakers are still pushing for immigration reform.
In areas of the Yuma sector where there are gaps in the border wall, migrant crossings have still come down significantly since the end of Title 42, but lawmakers say the border crisis is far from finished.
2 weeks makes a big difference. These areas of the border, which were constant gathering spots for migrants, remained empty early Thursday morning. Still, migrants are crossing the local border, as Yuma's sector chief says numbers are around 300 a day. Yuma Mayor Doug Nichols says these numbers are still historically high, but have provided relief for local border patrol.
So that's allowed Border Patrol to reduce the numbers in-house and to continue to work to provide capacity should there be another surge.
Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema was back on the border this week, this time in the Tucson sector, with Oklahoma Senator James Lankford, who visited Yuma with her in January. She believes the recent slowdown is part of the business of human smuggling.
The criminal cartels want to bring in a manageable number of people every single day so that the border protection agents are busy all day long processing these applications.
Before the end of Title 42, Senator Lankford introduced legislation with Senator Sinema to boost Border Patrol staffing. He says many more changes are needed in the U.S. immigration system.
We've got to have a faster screening process, a higher threshold of what it actually means to get asylum so that we can get legitimate asylum seekers into the country faster.
Official apprehension numbers for the month of May will be released sometime in mid-June. Reporting at the border, Adam Klepp, News 11.